Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Benefits Cool Down, Ted Lasso edition. I'm Ted Lasso. That, everybody, is my good friend, Sam Osa. How do I do it, Sam? Come on, it's killing me.
We're about 6 episodes in at this point, Ted.
I
You gotta get
know.
this right. It's Sam Obisanya.
Sam Obisanya. I should have that by now, but it's still, I don't mind making fun of myself. Sam, what's a good quote from our favorite Ted Lasso show that we can talk about this week?
Absolutely. So this is one of the more famous ones. You know what the happiest animal on earth is? It's a goldfish. You want to know why? It's got a 10-second memory. So what does that make you think of as compared to, our benefits business and what you're doing day to day?
Wait, I forget what you said. Can you repeat that? Oh, wait. Okay, sorry. I was being a goldfish. Did you get that? All right, we'll move on. All right. So look, when I hear that, and you're right, that is one of the more famous quotes. They're all great, but that is one of the ones that caught on real quick from, I think, season 1. Stuff happens, right? This is our show. I can say it. Shit happens. It's okay, right? Some will, some won't. Move on. Who cares? You're going to have clients that leave you. This is being released in the fourth quarter. It's going to be released in October, November. You're going to have clients that leave you. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer. It's just a fact. It happens to the best of us, right? You're going to have prospects that you're working with that end up renewing with their incumbent broker, or they go with another broker in the bid process. Okay, so what? Who cares? Move on. Next, right? Have a 10-second memory. Have less than a 10-second memory. It's okay. Yeah, it's not gonna be fun. It's gonna sting a little bit. It's gonna be painful. But how is that really any different than anything in life, right? Whether it's your favorite sports team lost, right? Whether it's your something within your family that didn't go your way, it happens to everybody. But all too often, I don't know about you, Ed, and I'm curious your opinion. I've literally, in my former life, a lot of folks know, some may not know. My name's Eric, or Ted for today, but in general, my name's Eric, and I am a recovering carrier rep. And back in my carrier days, I hired and trained and recruited and developed thousands of people. And I can tell you thousands of people who would have a bad second, a bad moment, a bad day, whether it's personal or business or both, and they let it ruin their entire, not just day. No, that would be easy. It would ruin their entire week, their entire month, their entire quarter. I would do reviews with them as their leader. Imagine me as a leader. That's crazy. But I would do reviews with them as their leader. And I'd say, hey, that quarter, that month didn't go as well as you had planned. What happened? And they're literally harping on something that happened to them months ago that didn't go their way. Well, if that did, but that didn't happen, and that shoulda, coulda. Move on. I'm not creative enough to think of the goldfish quote on my own, but gosh, I wish I would have had that quote on my own years ago, because it's so applicable to day-to-day life. Whether you're an advisor, broker, consultant, whether you're an employer, HR department, or just a general human being, stuff happens. It's not easy. I totally relate and get it, but you got to have that quick short-term memory. 10 seconds, as Ted Lasso would say. Ed, what do you think?
Well, this just makes me think of, failure management, right? And I think that, when I think back to my early days of my career, I would dwell on things for days and months, and it would stop me. It would create more fear, right? It would create the fear of failure, which also is stifling progress at the same time, right? I'm also a big believer in, if you're not growing, you're dying. And so every opportunity is also an opportunity to learn from. I've lost clients myself as well. I feel like it's inevitable, but 2, it's also an opportunity for me to learn for myself, and also as a professional, but for my team, what can we have done better? What could we have done better to maybe have derived a different outcome at the end of the day? And so we can learn from that, grow from that, learn more, maybe educate ourselves better, so maybe we can mitigate that same situation happening in the future. I've learned that the honesty and transparency is just so important in this business. that I am brutally honest with clients about my capabilities, what my strengths are, but also how to mitigate that as well, right? And so far that's going well, because I think they get to know me, and exactly, I'm not about false promises.
Well, let me touch on that last point before we wrap up, because you brought up an excellent point: transparency. I was thinking about this the other day. I have won more new business and more loyalty than I ever had in all my 20-something years in this business over the last few years, because of the sincere, open, honest transparency, meaning brutal transparency. Like, before it was the law, right? Jen Berman can explain more. But before we had to disclose compensation and all the details, right, and bonuses, I was doing that for years, and it's refreshing. Employers love it, and they're not scared about it. They understand. They run a business, for heaven's sakes. They want you to make money and be successful, so you can continue being their advisor and guiding them. So with what you just said about transparency, that's just the key takeaway for today's episode, and then some. Lay it all out on the table, because any competitor is typically too frightened to do so, and it's hurting them, it's hindering them, and we don't want it to hinder you.
And the last thing I'll say is, I know the quote was, centered around having a 10-second memory, which makes you think you should forget about it, right? That's where I say, the failures, I don't necessarily believe you should forget about it, but that you should repurpose how you feel about it, right? Or repurpose how you deal with it, so that tomorrow is a much better day. You're a stronger individual, you're a stronger company, and you have better solutions. So
I love it. Ed, as always, you're the best, man. Sam, as always, you're always the best. I'm Ted Lasso, otherwise known as Eric Silverman. This has been another episode of the Benefits Cool Down. And if you made it this far, we appreciate it, and thank you so very much. It'd mean the world to us if you shared. Hit the little share button on LinkedIn or social media, Instagram, YouTube, wherever you're watching it. And don't forget to tag us. And let's see, today's word is going to be shark. We just talked about goldfish. So if you watch this episode, comment shark down in the comments below to let us know that you stayed for the whole episode. Thanks, everybody.